I think the main catalyst will be when we initiate the construction of the new portal at Kenville. That will be a very key turning stone for the company.
Welcome to the NEI 500 CEO interview program, where the senior management from select listed companies will share their insights with the audience about their company's growth potential. In this episode, we had the opportunity to speak to Chris Anderson, the CEO of Exmon Mining, a TSX Venture listed company with a trading symbol of XIM. Exmon Mining is an exploration company focused in southern BC, Canada. A few highlights our readers should know before watching the interview. Exmon's flagship project is Kenville Gold Mine, which the company plans to move forward towards continuous production again. Exmon's projects are in southern BC, which historically is one of the best mining jurisdictions in the world. Exmon also owns 100% interest in two other gold projects, the Amelia Gold Mine and the Brett Epithermal Gold Project. Both had good upside potential. The company had a bit of a run last summer when it hit a 52-week high price of 81 cents during the time of its heavy development work around the Kenville Gold Mine. Since then, it has settled down in the 30 to 40 cents trading range this year. If you enjoy our video, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can stay alert of our future content. Hi, Chris. How are you doing today?
Excellent, Gilbert. Good to see you again.
Yes, good. The same for me. And looking good at your office there with the nice walk in front of you.
Yep, piece of Kenville ore right here on my table. Yes.
Sure. So maybe you can start off by letting the audience know a bit about the background of the company, the history, overview of your company, Exmon Mining.
One of the key assets up until January 2019, our primary asset was a project called the Brett Epithermal Project, which we've spent millions of dollars on acquiring. I've spent over $5 million myself in exploration and development on it. We've opened the portal up. It's had a bulk sample done. It had a historic hole in there of 235 feet at 2 ounce. That was an RC drill hole. It's had multiple high-grade intercepts in there. We've done a regional exploration on the property with low grade is 60 meters stuff running 1.5 grams. So it's got lots of potential. There's 3 different types of gold mineralization within the zone there, and we've recently reopened the portal and applied to do some underground drilling as well there. We have a permit to do some surface drilling there that we plan to execute on this year. That was our primary asset up until January 2019. And then there was another asset that we were chasing called the Kenville Gold Mine. And I've been trying to acquire that asset since about 2014, 15, something like that. Anyways, we were fortunate enough through unfortunate circumstances to control of the company and acquire it. And we've brought that into Exmon now. And that property, we own the surface rights, the underground rights. We've bought all the equipment for the mining. We've tied in with the Kootenay Dam. It's just a pristine project for mining high grade in southern BC. It was actually the very first gold mine that it was ever put into production in BC. So we own that 100% in Exmon, and we bought out the NSRs in that company as well. So we have a conceptual mine plan, and we've initiated a permit with the Department of Mines, and that seems to be going well. We've hired all the top firms to come and work with us. Massey Environmental, SRK. The engineer that was in charge of the project is actually now one of the senior engineers within the province here. So we put together an excellent team. We also secured some financing out of Europe, about $5 million US, to do the actual development work for cash flow purposes. We don't need any capex because we actually own all the equipment. So that's now become our primary focus. We also own the Amelia Gold Mine, the Crown grants, the underground grants. And I should mention at Kenville as well, we own the surface rights and the underground rights. And we've owned them for 130 years. So in the company. So it's a well-established project. The Amelia, we own the Crown grants, the underground surface and underground rights, and all the mineral titles in the area. And the Amelia project was the second producing gold mine ever to put into production in BC. So we own the first and the second. And Amelia is a very exciting project as well. It's a quartz structure, high grade gold as well, fits in with our portfolio. And so that's a company builder all on its own. And so we just recently put in permits for that.
Chris, maybe you can touch upon about southern BC. The location is important. What factors actually attracted you to be working there?
Number one, high grade assets. They just happen to be in southern BC. Good infrastructure with all the resources that are amenable and accessible to us at a much lower cost ratio than being up in the north or in some of these other areas. We understand the legal. I mean, I've worked in Peru. I've worked all over the States. I've worked, in several other different countries. It's Indonesia. It's here. I understand the legal system. We got good rule of law. Our mining jurisdiction here, they've been going through some changes, but recently they brought on a new head of permitting. I think they're doing a great job. They're really moving forward and working hard to make it more accessible to get mining permits and get mining activity done in the province. I'm excited about some of the things that they're working on and some of the steps that they're taking. So all of those things are working in a good favor. And it's better when you can get around all the projects easy and you got a longer work season, right? So we can get more work done than being in northern Ontario, you're working on, or northern BC, you're working on a project, then you got to shut down for 6 or 7 months, right? So these are some of the reasons why we like it. But the main reason always is we're looking for high grade projects, and they happen to be here in southern BC.
So do you need to worry about or have to work with, let's say, First Nation in the region? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, we do have to work with First Nation. Every project in BC, you have to do engagement, and even on exploration. We've been fortunate. We've got good relationships with all the parties that we work with, and we're open to that. We've employed First Nations in our exploration programs. Kenville in particular is a little bit different situation there because it's Crown grants going back to the 1800s, some of the oldest Crown grants in the province, obviously. And we own the surface and underground rights. So there hasn't been too much involvement there. There is one band that has interest in the region for downstream effects, like anything that might happen down the road, but they're sitting on the mine review. They'll be sitting on, like all other permits, they sit on the mine review committee, and we'll be looking at our permit. But we, had good engagement conversation with them, and they have very low impact on our area. And it's got a long history of mining there as well. So we don't have any issues in that regard. And I think we have good community relations with everybody, First Nations and non-First Nations, in all the areas that we work.
Yeah, so you mentioned a bit about Brett epithermal group project, one of your key projects before. So what's the potential there in terms of the answers, or what comments on that?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me that, because one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to get to a stage where we had somewhere between an 8 to 10 million ounce exploration potential within the company. And I think we've pretty much achieved that now between all our projects. In other words, when we look at all our projects, Brett inclusive, right? We are looking at what is the exploration potential there? Is it possible to hit between 8 to 10 million ounces if everything worked out the way we wanted it to work out? And that was what the portfolio of properties that we put together. And Brett, we think, has the potential to be multi-million ounce type deposit, right? Overall, we control a big land position there. It's got multiple different scenarios for gold mineralization. Like I mentioned to you, there's a few different scenarios there. It's got quartz, it's got disseminated gold, we got low grade. It could be like a New Afton type underground open pit kind of scenario. We would never do anything that would be open pit at surface or anything. I didn't even want it. We're not even interested in that, but it's kind of that kind of a project that could go that way. It's got the potential to be multi-million ounce type deposit. It's a big epithermal system, right?
So let's talk about the industry things here. You obviously is a supporter of the gold industry overall, and the company or yourself is involved in the recent publication in Gold We Trust report. So what do you want to achieve in being part of that?
It's one of our main advertising focuses, and we like to sponsor them. And they've been, they're based out of Liechtenstein. And we've done a lot of European tours. A lot of our investors within Exmin itself are from the European market. And I just think if anybody's going to be involved in gold or gold exploration, that is the go-to #1 report I would suggest you read. Now, it's a big read, and it's hundreds of pages, and it takes more than a weekend for me to get through it. That's for sure. But it's an excellent report, and it goes into all the different scenarios and directions. We also get to use a lot of that of the material. Being a sponsor, we can use a lot of that in our reference points, and we can share that with our investors and stuff like that. So we do, right? But it's been a phenomenal report, and they've been phenomenal group of guys to work with. When we come out with good stuff, key news, they also, Twitter us, and they sponsor us, and we're represented in all their talks. They've translated into from English to German to now to Chinese as well. They started last year, right? Distribution. So it's a great avenue for us to get the story out about Exmin and be tied to some of the smartest minds in the gold space at the same time, and have access for questions or comments that we got about the market, because we all have questions and comments. The day you stop learning, you'd probably be buried. Anyway, so we're always learning. It's always great to have, access to knowledge points when we're going through the industry.
Sure. So in summary, so what are the major sort of catalysts or milestones investors should be looking out for Exmin if they want to follow your company?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think that the major milestone right now would where we've taken everything in the development, in the acquisition of assets, and the composition of the company itself as a whole. Now you're going to start to see them. I think the main catalyst will be when we initiate the construction of the new portal at Kenville. That will be a very key turning stone for the company. And the company has no debt. We own everything. We own most of our projects 100%. So we're in a very good scenario going into a major gold bull market. I know maybe it doesn't feel that way. I think, in my opinion, this is just a natural little pullback. But with all the money printing that's gone around the world, I think we're set stage to, where, back in the 70s, you saw 100 baggers type stocks and scenarios, and a lot of that enthusiasm that goes into the gold space gets captured in the gold juniors. And I think our company's set for that, and the stage that we've got set for work. We're permitted on multiple projects. We're ready to start our advancements on the Kenville and the Kenville portal. We've secured financing not only out of Europe for the development of the Kenville portal. We brought in partners who have been great partners to us. We had a line of that we could draw down of 8 million, but we've drawn down probably about 2 million over the last couple of years. So we've got access to capital. We got our projects. We're permitted. Now the season's just starting up, so we're going to be, we got multiple drill permits, so we're going to be working on various different exciting projects that we own, right? And we're very, very excited. I think we'll have good news flow. So those are some of the things that are going to going on right now this year. I think we got a very exciting couple of years in front of us for Exmin.
Thank you, Chris, for sharing your story and insight with us here today.
Yeah, no problem.
If you enjoy our video, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can stay alert of our future content.